Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric somewhere over there.
Hello.
And that is Vanessa somewhere over there.
Hello.
I'm Kelly. As you can see, we're all doing a Zoom call this time. I just want to start the show by letting everybody know that Vanessa gave me an amazing compliment. She said, "It looks like you have brushed your hair in a very effective manner today."
I am very bad at compliments and being a human in general. So you're welcome.
I took it as a compliment. I was like, you know what?
Should.
That is effective hair brushing.
That's probably the nicest thing I've said to anyone in a month. So,
Eric,
Yes.
the whole reason we're doing this is because you couldn't make a in-person meeting. Because why?
yeah.
Well, Dina and I hit a bucket list band to see last night with the Seattle original Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Was it good?
Had two opening bands. One I don't recall. And the Pretenders were the other.
Oh,
And,
nice.
you know, I think she's 72 or 73. And pretty good. That was a fun
Good.
show.
Hmm.
I'm not as familiar with Pretenders, so it's like, oh, cool. She did a great bit there. It's like, oh, you got a song request? Yeah, okay, we'll play it. And then played her hit, just like saying it like that. But, oh my God, the Foo Fighters did a full 3-hour show, starting at 8 and going to almost 11. I'm guessing there's city ordinances for sound because they were in the T-Mobile Park where the Mariners play.
Yeah.
So it's open park with, and it was loud. And they played, it was an all rock evening. Even had a bit in the middle. He's like, okay, we'd like to do a little question and answer or question and callback thing for this. Who wants us to play a ballad? We have a lot of good ones. And who wants us to keep rocking your balls off? Okay, let's do that again. All right. Yeah, there's a clear winner. And it was just power all night long.
Oh.
Dave Grohl is amazing frontman, one of the best I've ever seen, and is fun with the audience, kind of makes fun of the audience in a way that's entirely endearing. Like did cute little things like, I'm going to test you. You say you're rock fans. And then he played like opening intros to Metallica and Beatles and AC/DC songs. Like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Seattle's a rock and roll town, I guess. The new drummer, Josh Frisch. Wow, dude is powerful.
Yeah.
And he is really good. The solos were ridiculous. The different band members can play the hell out of their instruments. The guitarist from the Germs playing there, and he was having fun. He didn't move a lot, but boy, he was smiling from ear to ear. And it had that extra fun of being, it was their last show on their tour. And it was basically, hometown tour or show. And so the audience was hugely into it. And they did, he did a 3-song set of acoustic, which I guess kind of slowed it down, but it didn't feel ballady. It felt still powerful. And how the dude yells as often and loudly as he does at the end of a 1.5-year tour is kind of astounding. They did do a dedication to Taylor Hawkins with Aurora, which I guess was the first song they ever recorded as that full lineup. And it was just non-stop. It just kept going and going and exhausting, but awesome. sound is iffy in T-Mobile
Hmm.
because it is an open air area, but they were playing loud enough and well enough that it didn't matter. We were on the 200 level, so we weren't on the floor, but that's a pretty good place to sit in T-Mobile. And every time that dude hit the kick drums, you could feel them, and it was really cool.
Oh.
The encore was insane. It was they started with the teacher, and I think it's like a 9-minute song, and it just built and built and built to this insane wall of sound, which just kind of made the whole place feel like it was going to fall over. It was huge. And they used T-Mobile Stadium lights at times, which are, LED controlled so they can flip on and off and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So they were lighting those up, saved it for the encore, and then ended with Everlong, which I think is one of their main enders, and had a damn fireworks display.
I saw a video of that.
Yeah, like they do they do fireworks at the Mariners all the time, or you hit a home run or something, and they did a version of that. So you're sitting there listening to Everlong, have no idea this is coming, and suddenly, boom, it's like, holy shit! And little interactive because ash just fell over the entire crowd because of the direction the wind was blowing. But yeah, that was awesome.
Oh man, I'm so glad that it sounds like it was just an incredible gig. I've seen them play twice, once in a small venue and once in a large one, and both were just so awesome. And
Nice.
I'm so happy that you guys went and did that bucket list item.
So obviously, one of the big hits is "The Pretender." Did they drag Chrissy Hind out to help him sing?
They did not.
No.
I think she sang that in her set, or sang like a
Oh,
little bit
really?
of it. Yeah.
Oh, how funny. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there was there. If you've never seen an arena rock show, there's a certain kind of music that works really well in it, and they epitomize it. That it was just, like I said, it's just a powerful music all night long, just filling the stadium and hitting everybody. And he is so good as a front man that you just felt part of the show. And I sang like a song that he wrote when he lived here, that like boats in the kingdom were as part of the lines to it. And the last song he recorded with Novoselic, the bass player for Nirvana, he played that, and he was there apparently, but he was he's like, I'm not sure where he is, but he's there somewhere. But, so yeah, if they when hopefully they did say they're going to do some kind of a 30th anniversary special, and Dave's like, this might be a good place to do it. Special live shows, like, I want to go.
30th anniversary. What year would that be?
I think it's this. They reference this as kind of like a 30th anniversary tour.
Oh, okay.
I think their official 30th anniversary is actually next year.
Oh, okay.
But so very soon.
I feel very old. Holy smokes.
Well, that is very, very cool. How about we actually talk about what we talk about in this show,
What?
which is movies.
Movies, books,
And-
comic books.
I have a movie that I was supposed to talk about months ago, and I keep forgetting to talk about it.
Oh, yes.
And so I'm gonna talk a little bit about Dinosaur Prison.
Oh,
Micah.
Oh no!
finally.
First, I have to ask this. I'm not sure if Micah actually likes me. I've got notes.
Oh, God.
It says here, right here, this movie sucks. This movie is called Dinosaur Prison, and it opens with a credit sequence, but no credits. So there's all of this, a title card, and then all of these flashing images of like dinosaurs and files and that kind of stuff. Everything that you would see as a visual bed for a credit sequence,
Yeah.
but there's no credits, no starring, no written by, no. So that was weird right off the bat. And then it starts with these three sexy ninja women who are breaking into a prison to save animals.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that they have broken into a dinosaur prison.
Uh-oh.
And they realize pretty quick, though, because one of them is eaten by a dinosaur. And then the other two are captured by the people who run the prison. Throughout all of this, the acting is shockingly amateurish. The dinosaur CGI is clearly just, whatever dinosaur CGI app you would buy on some kind of plug-in for Adobe or whatever. So everything is quite bad. And of course, the dinosaurs escape and hilarity ensues because the dinosaurs have wacky abilities because they've been being bred for military purposes. So one of them can turn invisible. One of them can breathe fire. But that's not even the coolest part because the soldiers who are taking care of this place, they all have crazy weapons and shit too. One of them has a flaming sword.
Oh.
And the flaming sword, I have to admit, looks very cool and clearly also just a plug-in on some thing. And the guy was like, there's no way I'm not using this fucking flaming sword plug-in. So there is a raptor versus a soldier with a flaming sword fight sequence. And then this ends with the dinosaurs breaking out and the doctor telling the surviving female ninja, and this is, I quote, "Come on, there's still so many caged dinosaurs in prison, we still have to help." Roll and credits.
Which dinosaur?
Which means obviously, Dinosaur Prison 2, I guess, but I have seen nothing that would indicate that is a possibility right now. Perhaps it didn't make its money back. Perhaps it did not make the $48.99 that they spent on this real turd. And Micah, what the fuck, man? I thought we were buddies. This movie wasn't even fun to watch.
Oh, no.
It was just bad.
Maybe that's why, after the Micah stuff where people realize that I enjoy a certain level of crap, maybe that's why he challenged you. It's like, Kelly or Eric's going to like this stupid movie. Kelly will hate it.
No, Eric, you would not have liked this. There's very little, there's no heart in it is the problem. It's not like these guys were like driven to make a Dinosaur Prison movie.
Was this just
They had access to a prison.
Ah.
And they had access to a dinosaur CGI app. And they were like, I've got an idea.
Jesus.
So I feel like, Micah, thank you for your donation. I fucking earned it. So that was one of the movies I watched. Dinosaur Prison. It's available on Tubi, believe it or not.
Oh,
Wow.
I do.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I guess I will change the subject very slightly here and talk about a movie I watched. I went and saw Trap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I am
Curious?
so glad. Well, at least we're on theme because concerts. I am so glad you warned me ahead, Eric. The only thing that really ended up grating on me past that, well, there were two things. One is that M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, while she can sing, she cannot act.
Oh, I did not realize that was her.
Yes.
I did not know.
His daughter, the pop star, he has several daughters. He has three. One's a pop star, one's a director, and the other one is the sad disappointment of the family, I guess.
Probably just a lawyer or a doctor.
Exactly. A success. She just owns a house and has some kids or something. Yeah, that girl is truly god awful when it comes to looking at the camera and delivering lines in any kind of effective and interesting manner. And also the fact that the ending, they don't know how to end a movie. It's like, here's an ending, here's an ending, here's an ending. And I was like, could we pick one? Just If you only could have one, let's say you have all the endings in front of you and you just select one, you can't just do that, guys. Other than that though, like watching Josh Hartnett having like the time of his goddamn life was
Yeah.
very fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed how much he enjoyed doing it. So
Yeah.
that was great.
I've got questions. First of all, are we pretending that Josh Hartnett is a good actor for some reason? Because that guy has always been the worst actor on the planet.
I haven't seen him in that Carnival Row show, so I've heard he's good in it.
Well, was he good in this? Is that what you're saying?
I think he was good in this. I enjoyed him in this. I don't know that he was like mind blowing, but I think that he
No.
was pretty good. I think he was like I mean, I don't know, like he had all the subtleties of like he would walk into a scene as the serial killer and he would try to put on his human face and give the human friendly dad version, but beneath the veneer you could see that he was like faking it, and I think that that's a hard thing to do, and he
Hmm.
did it really well. Like he just played this character of like trying to fit in, not really doing a good job, but everyone just accepting him because he looks like the lovable dad guy. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but maybe it was also in comparison to M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. He was just significantly better. So
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
my next question
Yeah.
is Shyamalan just on drugs now? Is that what's going on with all of these new shitty movies?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
I haven't watched one of his in a while. I haven't seen
Hmm.
Old, and I didn't see whatever the
Old.
one was before.
Old
Old
was
was horrific.
bad.
Yeah, that's
Was
what I
it
heard.
better or worse than this?
Oh, Old was way worse than this.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this like, I mean, I think it could have been a good movie if they had done a few different things. I think there was a very strange shot style happening. I don't know why he was shooting it the way he was. It felt laggy. It felt a little fatty, and I don't know, like it felt like they could have made it way more cinematic, and I don't know why he chose not to, other than like
Mhm.
it's a serial killer B movie horror style, and that's the only thing I can work out.
Which was kind of weird because I thought the in performance part when he was in and they were at the live show was shot
Yeah,
fairly well.
there's
But
there's moments where it is, and then there's other moments where it's not, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. And then as soon as they get in the house, I'm like, everything's shot terribly, just like really terribly. So I'm not sure what's up with that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how this is the same man who made the good movies out of his repertoire, which I do think at least three of his films, I'm not going to say which because I don't want to be judged, are good. but
I'd
but then
say
he
there's
also made The Happening,
three
and I'm
good
like,
ones.
I don't know. This man
Was
confuses me to no end. I'm
was
like,
this better or worse than The Happening?
oh, I mean, everything's better than The Happening. Old is better than The Happening. Have
Oy,
you
oy.
rewatched The Happening?
it's
Have you
No.
forced
pretty
yourself to
bad.
watch The Happening anytime in the last 5 years? Because I have. And it
No, I
was
haven't.
worse than I remembered. I was
Wow.
like,
Okay.
I must have been wrong. Surely there's a good movie in there. There is not a good second in that film. It is so fucking intolerably awful. Old
Well,
at least, like you get to watch people to get old. You don't have to
casting
watch like Zoe
Exciting.
Deschanel walk around being shit in every single scene and Mark Wahlberg being even worse.
casting Mark Wahlberg as your professor character is a bit of a stretch. So I have talked to another friend who saw this, and he was
Okay.
telling me that not only is the singer in on it, but like the vendors are in on it. Everybody's in on it. One of the vendors slips
Oh,
up and
right.
tells
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen this yet, but I was like, that's a monumentally bad writing choice.
Oh,
And
yeah.
does he not have a script supervisor or somebody who goes, I mean, they literally pay for people. There's super fucking annoying people on a film set who go, that's not going to work. You can't
Yeah.
have a concert that starts at noon. That doesn't happen unless you write something in to explain why this concert is happening at noon. Or why would they have vendors in there? Why would they risk that instead of having undercover FBI agents so that they don't mess up and tell somebody? And if you're going
Yeah.
to set a trap with a serial killer, why would you do it at a place where he's surrounded by thousands of little girls? Things
That is
like
so
this.
far away from being the biggest plot issue that I'm just like, those are fine. It's
That's why
fine.
I was wondering if he's just on fucking drugs and nobody is stopping him.
I think nobody, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the script. I feel like it's written, is it actually written by M. Night? Because I feel like it's written either way. It's not good. It's not a good script. It needed like 5 more rounds, at least. They needed to beat the hell out of like they changed who the main character is like several times as you go along and for no reason, and it's not enjoyable to do that. So I don't know. It sucks in those ways. But I
I
like
wonder
the
if
high concept, and again, I
Yeah.
like Josh Hartnett, so that carried me through it. I don't know.
the studio, because Old was just trounced by everybody, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the studio sees this finished film and they're like, well, maybe we have a Plan 9 from outer space on our hands. Maybe we've
I
got something so
mean,
bad that people will love it because it's The Room or something like that.
It's not that kind of
yeah.
bad. It's just
Yeah.
a stupid popcorn movie that,
Yeah.
if you think about, falls completely apart. But if you just roll with it, it's stupid fun. And which was very weird, I think, in an M. Night movie, which probably was part of the reason so much of the stuff that I did complain about, and there's so much more I didn't. I just rolled with it because, you know what? This is ridiculous. Let's just have, because from word one, the idea of setting up 30,000 people or whatever, and then telling everybody working there what's going on instead of just letting it be like it's a special concert and there's no reason the vendors need to know anything.
Well, the vendors need to
Uh,
know so that
you
like
know,
they understand why the cops are there, I guess. And like
well,
they're
they don't
there
have to.
to help
They
the
just
cops.
say she had threats against her, so we tripled the cops we normally have, or something. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to
Yeah.
work around that, but
Yeah.
it was
I
just
so
fun.
also like so they basically said nobody could leave right after they got into the show.
Yeah. No one
Not
can
But that
without
was
getting
never
checked.
yeah, you have to go through like security
Yeah,
checkpoints and they're very stringent. And the idea is that they're
actually,
going to check
only
every single person.
only guys had to go through security check. They just let
That's true.
the women and the young kids go through, but all the guys of a certain age were stopped to go through security.
And they were pulling them
so
throughout the concert. They're like
Yeah,
constantly pulling guys who might fit one of
which
the
was
profiles.
that was weird.
That was weird. I was like, that really gives the game away, but okay. Um, it is written by M. Night as well, so
Okay.
yeah. I
well, yeah.
can't
So I
even
was
say
hearing
something
that
else.
too, and I was like, there is an amazing um, conflict there when the first person who suddenly gets told, you know, oh, you can't leave or whatever, then creates a ruckus. I'm like, boy, that must have been a great scene. And he was like, yeah, that would have been good. Yeah, that might have added something to it. But no, nothing like that. And I'm like, off the top of my fucking head, I thought of this. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. And like there's weird moments like near the end when he's getting carted off. They
Oh,
let him
jeez.
like hug his kids,
So
which is
bad.
weird. But yeah, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna
Let her
put
through. No.
why? Why let the kid through to hug her dad goodbye?" And also like they let him like there's a toy that's tipped over that he like writes back up and it's like, why are you letting him do
Oh, right. Yeah.
this? I don't understand why you're letting him touch things and people and like he's murdered lots of people. Just put him in a cell. Put him in the cuffs. Don't let him touch a bunch of people and things.
Wow.
Anyway,
I can't wait to never watch this.
Yeah,
I
you
think
should
that is
not
a
watch this.
good choice.
Yeah, do not watch this movie. It's better than Lady in the Water as well. I will give it that. So,
I didn't hate that one. I
Yeah, I
just
didn't
I
either.
accepted it as the fairy tale it was, and
uh,
you know,
I just hated the smugness of it where he was like, fuck the critics. What if like you're a critic and you're in my movie and we beat the shit out of you? Huh. Like I didn't like that.
that was a little bit of you bullish level of
It
crap
really
there.
it was like irritating in a way that I don't like
Well,
in
shall
my
we move on from
Oh,
Yes.
sure. All
Yes.
right.
Eric, what do you see?
uh, Last Night at Terrence Lane's from Amazon, which is actually a this year film about a bloodthirsty cult that finds that they have to kill everybody at a local bowling alley.
Yes.
This is also full of things don't think about too much and just kind of go with.
But this is also a comedy.
Yeah, the leads were good enough, and the I mean, there's things like we were talking about there where it's like, hold on, this is a bowling alley it's supposed to be destroyed tomorrow morning, but they haven't moved anything out of it.
Yeah.
It's still a fully functioning bowling alley. It's like, okay, whatever. But
Excellent.
get together with the dad and stuff was fun. It's really silly, and the lead villains are played very comically. It's also pretty bloody and violent at
Very,
times.
very gory. I love that her bowling skill is what will allow her to fight off of all of these guys. And I really kind of loved the scene where they all get the phone call and they've padlocked the door shut and everything, and they all just start bringing out their weapons. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is creepy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I like that one.
Yep. There's only one thing I wanted storyline wise. There's the one total douchebag guy who thought he was a great bowler.
Mm.
I was hoping before shit went down, she would go out and kick his ass in bowling. That would have been kind of fun, but no. Check it out. Good, silly night of watching something horror comedy-ish. It's on Amazon is where I watched it.
That's on your 100 Nights of Halloween?
Yes. The Last Night at Terrence Lane's.
Terrence Lane's. Nice. Okay, I'm going to talk about real quick. I don't know if I can do this because it's a question. Vanessa, are you aware and watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon on Paramount Plus?
I just saw the trailer for it yesterday on Paramount, and I was like,
Me
oh,
too.
fuck. Oh my God, I gotta watch this show. It looks awesome. I have not seen it yet.
Well, then I can't wait to hear what you think of it. I'll then go back to, I talked a little bit about that new Batman cartoon, Batman Caped Crusader, that is on Prime. It was only 8 episodes, and the first 6 were fun. They were really good, and I liked them a lot. But the last 2 were a 2-parter, which was so all through the series we're dealing with Harvey Dent, and we're starting to learn that he owes some bad people a lot of favors if he's going to become the district attorney and all that stuff. And he decides he's not going to do that for him. And then in like the very, very classic way he becomes Two-Faced, they throw acid on him in a court and burn his face. And he doesn't turn into like the half green face thing we see in the comics or the purple face thing from the Batman movie. He turns into just a normal looking dude with a horribly scarred half of his face. And then the next 2 episodes are him. It's a fucking noir film from the 40s where he is just going off and killing the people who are involved in his stuff while Batman is one step behind trying to catch him because he knows Harvey Dent is a good person and all of this stuff. And it ends just beautifully with Harvey Dent dying, actually, but saving Barbara Gordon and all of this stuff. And I was just like, God damn, if this was a fucking Batman movie, it would be the best Batman movie ever made. So I got to say, if you have any interest in the animated Batman stuff, Batman Caped Crusader, which is on Prime, is a great little, very short series.
Cool.
Well, I checked out a Indian film called Kill, which I think you played at Fantastic Fest last year and I missed it. It is about a kind of like military guy and his friend who were on a train, and yeah,
I think I've seen this. Yeah,
and like this
trailer.
woman he's in love with is on the train too, and they're like secretly engaged, but she's out also kind of engaged to another guy, but she really wants to marry him, and something happens on the train. A bunch of bad dudes are there to steal everyone's like iPads, basically. and something goes wrong and they start killing people, and you get about, I don't know, 30 minutes in, and then the title comes up and it's like kill, and then the entire rest of the movie is that's what you
That.
get. Just killing, just everybody's getting killed. So it's pretty great because you realize at a certain point that the military guy, our hero, was holding back. And you think he's just like an okay fighter and he's really like out of his league a bunch of the time, but then when he has like nothing left to lose, he's just like fucking goes. And
Yeah.
that's pretty neat. I enjoyed that a lot. So.
What was that on?
Ooh, it was free on something. I don't remember. I will look really quick.
Kill. Okay. I saw the
Prime?
trailer for that and I wanted to see it.
I think so. I think it was on Prime.
Yeah, I believe I watched this one too, and it's insane. Just really
Absolutely,
good.
absolutely insane. It looks like it's a paid rental on everything, but I feel like I saw it for free, but I guess maybe not. Maybe I rented it on Prime. I must have. Anyway, there you go. I rented it on Prime. I paid money.
Well, there you go. Okay. So did I for the movie I watched. The final Ty West Maxine.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. All right,
You
all
know,
right.
I gotta say, I think this might be my favorite of the series.
Really?
It's got a real late 70s, early 80s aesthetic. She goes to Hollywood and becomes, there's a reason there's all the X's in Maxine. And then she's trying to become a legitimate actor. And it's really pretty interesting. I thought I enjoyed it. It just had a nice little grunge grime to it that the X and Pearl didn't have, because they're very different stories. So have either one you seen this one yet?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it just recently came. I think a couple weeks ago it came out on rental. So it was probably more than I would generally rent for. I think it was like 15 or something. But I like this one. This Ty West is a frustrating director for me because I think he's really talented, but keeps kind of lowballing how good I think he could be. This is one of his better ones. I think this is a solid step forward in a pretty good director's catalog.
I can't wait to see him make something else. I'm really excited about that. I would love to see something else.
I think I probably would have passed on this because I did not care for Pearl at all. But you are turning me around on that because you know how much I love my sleazy 70s, 80s stuff.
Yeah, I thought X was good. Pearl, I didn't understand the obsession with. I thought wasn't bad. I thought it was good, but man, people loved that one.
Yeah,
but
fuck.
I don't know. Maxine, favorite for me.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, it looked like. Does it have the most like cohesive story out of them? Yeah,
definitely. It's got a full story of her going through and trying to succeed and what happens with that. So it's definitely the most fleshed out story, I think, of all three.
Yeah, and it sounded interesting because you're carrying on from that character from the first one. So like there's actually character development that is occurring, which is nice. Which you don't get with Pearl because it's all new.
Right.
New thing.
And it ties into the Night Stalker murders, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. Well, I will look for that one then.
Cool.
Well, why don't we take a break then, and I will go look for that right now, and then when we come back, we're talking about the movie or the subgenre fire.
A truck of heroic proportions. Hess Truck 2000, built for action. Cool flashing lights, a real horn and siren, and a giant ladder that goes up, up, and away. $18.99 at Hess stations, Energizer batteries included. Adventure is near. Happy holidays from Hess.
And we are back. You guys, this was my subgenre pick, and I picked movies that had fire in it. And I wanted to make it super easy. It could be a campfire, or it could be a house fire. It could be fireball from space, or a sorcerer shooting fire out of his staff. So
One might
whatever
argue too easy, because there are no lists to look up for movies that just have fire in them. So thanks.
Oh, wow. I didn't think this would be a problem at all. I figured you'd just go and pick some kind of military movie where the commander's like, fire!
Well, now that you say that.
That works. There you go.
Well, with that in mind, giving myself 10 minutes on the Strange Eons radio buzzer. And I am doing the movie Bad Dreams.
As night falls, a new day begins. A day of unity.
Sometimes a single moment of madness,
Our love will never die.
can last a lifetime.
Come to me, Cynthia. You belong with us forever.
She was in a coma for over 13 years. Everyone she knew was killed in the fire.
And sometimes your worst nightmares begin the moment you wake up.
He's in there! He's alive!
Who's alive? I'm waiting, Cynthia. Keep your promise and join us, or I'll take someone in your place.
He wants us all with him! You're all gonna die!
Now.
Ah! No!
Can you survive bad dreams? Take a stab at it. April 8th.
From 1988. A budget of $4 million and a box office of $8 million. Rotten Tomatoes critics give it 38%, and the audience gives it 42%. It is directed by Andrew Fleming, who has 31 credits, mostly TV, but also Threesome, The Craft, and Dick. So this guy has had a couple of big movies. Written by Fleming and Stephen E. D'Souza. Very popular writer for Strange Eons Radio. 44 credits, including 48 Hours, Commando, Die Hard, The Running Man, another 48 Hours, Die Hard 2, Judge Dredd, Street Fighter, and Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Wow.
Nice.
Also starring Jennifer Rubin. Strikingly beautiful goth girl in Dream Warriors. She's got 50 credits. She was also in The Crush. She was in Full Eclipse, Craig. And she was in Transmorphers, Fall of Man. So we can kind of chart how her career has gone. Also starring Bruce Abbott, who has 36 credits. Of course, we know him best from Reanimator and Reanimator 2. But he was also in Interzone and 42 episodes of something called Dark Justice. And Richard Lynch, who is a very recognizable character actor with 165 credits, ranging from The 7-Ups to Battlestar Galactica to The Ninth Configuration to Invasion USA to Rob Zombie's Halloween and The Lords of Salem before his death in 2012. Also in this movie, Dean Cameron, Harris Yulin, and Susan Barnes, all three of which you would know as soon as you saw. Okay, have you guys seen the movie Bad Dreams?
No.
If I have, it was about the time it came out, so I don't remember. It looks familiar, but I don't remember.
Yeah, this will jar your memory, I'm sure. The film opens in 1975, where what appears to be a quasi-religious cult are preparing for a big event, which turns out to be a mass suicide. The head of the cult is a very creepy dude named Harris, and he's splashing gasoline all over everyone, and they are just ecstatic about it. It's going to be the best day ever. There's one young girl, though, Cynthia, who is not cool with it, and she tries to run as the house and everyone inside is burning. But she ends up trapped in the house and succumbs to the smoke just as firefighters are breaking into the house. They realize she's the only survivor, and they drag her outside, but although she is alive, she has fallen into a coma and will stay there for 13 years.
Oh, my.
After awakening in the hospital, she is constantly plagued by horrific visions and flashbacks of her time in the cult, and especially the cult leader, Harris, who shows up as a burned and scarred ghost in her visions. And because she is basically a ward of the state now, she is forced to attend these experimental group therapy sessions at the facility, led by a very young and attractive doctor named Alex. Now, Alex doesn't think that his therapy is a good fit for her, but his boss, Dr. Beresford, convinces him that he needs to help her accustom to regular life in a world that has changed quite a bit in 13 years. And eventually Alex warms to her and wants to help her. Plus, she's smoking hot and he's smoking hot. So why wouldn't they like each other? But then Cynthia's visions start to change. First, she has a vision of Harris drowning one of the other therapy patients in kind of like a baptismal ceremony that she remembers. And then right after that, that particular patient is found dead in the swimming pool. And another patient that Cynthia has become friends with, she is discharged from the hospital, but as she enters the elevator, Cynthia sees Harris is in there with her just before the doors close. She can't stop her. The next thing we know, though, that woman is found dead on the sidewalk, having leapt from a window in an apparent suicide. So the ghost of Harris keeps showing up and basically tells her that the killings will continue until she finally commits suicide herself and closes the circle that was left open by her surviving the original mass suicide. She tells Alex about this, and he's like, this is all in your head. None of this is real. So you are not responsible for these people's deaths, and you are not going to commit suicide. And then right after that, two other patients who've been secretly sleeping with each other walk together into the blades of a huge industrial fan. That one's lovely. And one of the other patients starts stabbing himself as he's talking to Cynthia. So she's pretty sure that, yes, she is the problem. There's also a suicide by drinking formaldehyde, and I just realized I probably should give a trigger warning for this film because it is all fucking suicide. So if that's something you don't like, do not watch this movie. However, Alex finds out that his boss, Dr. Beresford, has been intentionally lacing the therapy group's drugs with a psychogenic substance in the hope that it will effectively make the patient suicidal and thus corroborate his research. Alex realizes that Cynthia's suicide is the ultimate goal for Beresford, and he goes to Cynthia, insisting her visions of Harris are not real. But right then, Beresford shows up and knocks him out and takes Cynthia with him. So it is a race against time now, as Harris has called the cops and has followed Beresford and Cynthia up to the rooftop, where the evil doctor is trying to convince her to jump. Of course, what she's seeing is Harris telling her to jump. So we realize, oh, this entire time, it's been in her head. Will Alex be able to get through to her before she jumps? Or in the event that he cannot, will he be able to grab her and stop her from plummeting to her death by hanging one-handed from the edge of the roof while the doctor is stabbing his hand with a syringe? And will the police officer who finally shows up watch Cynthia shoot the evil doctor and then just shake his head and leave the two people, one of whom he just watched kill a man, on the rooftop to hug each other even though they are clearly in great distress and bleeding all over the place? This movie did not suck, but I do remember liking it a lot more when it first came out. Also, it just ends with them standing on the rooftop alone after one of them has killed a man and the other one has had his tendons all torn apart, hugging each other. The cop who was up there just goes, and he walks off and leaves them alone on the rooftop. And as the end credits start, fucking Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses starts playing. And I'm like,
how'd they forget?
The whole fucking song, right? So,
Jesus.
Tagline: Cynthia has a grave problem. Trivia. The director wanted to use a live version of the song Burning House of Love by the band X for the end credits, while 20th Century Fox suggested Sweet Child of Mine by then unknown band Guns N' Roses, thinking it would be cheaper and a possible hit.
Huh.
I think we licensed it for about 5 cents, Fleming said, and many, many weeks later it became a huge hit. According to Fleming, Guns N' Roses were also going to do a video that incorporated clips from the movie. They came in and watched it and were stoked by the movie, Fleming said, but then Axl Rose's girlfriend said she didn't want a song about her to have clips from a horror movie in it, so she got her way.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Reviews cited the film as a derivative of Nightmare on Elm Street, which was interesting because Jennifer Rubin had earlier starred in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors the prior year. This must be nice. James Cameron would often visit the set and give notes and ideas to first-time director Andrew Fleming.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, not too shabby. And then finally, Fleming said that the first day Richard Lynch was in full face and head cap prosthesis was quite traumatic for the actor. Almost 20 years prior, Lynch had nearly died from a self-immolation disaster while under the influence of narcotics. He wasn't prepared to see his likeness rendered as such and felt he was reliving the misadventure all over again. Richard Lynch, if you don't remember, is a very recognizable man. He always plays a bad guy because he's got kind of a cruel look to his face, but in certain lighting you can see that he is very scarred, and apparently that is what that is from. So the movie is Bad Dreams. It did not suck, but not as good as I hoped it would be. So, I got 1 minute left on my timer because I'm a fucking professional.
There you go.
And how did you see that movie again?
What are you, a cop?
I think that answers that question.
Never mind, sorry. I thought you might have said at the start if you saw it on like TV or Shudder or something. Sounds interesting.
It is not on those channels. You want to go next, Smarty Pants?
Sure do. I'd love nothing more.
10 minutes.
Excellent. Well, I was having a hard time figuring this one out because I was like, it's just literally every movie. There's fire in literally every movie. I don't know what to do. So I went with the most obvious, maybe, and did Volcano from 1997.
Good morning, Southern California. We're heading for a high of 75 degrees.
Didn't take long to get our first SIG alert this morning.
This morning's shaker surprised all of us here in the Fox 11 newsroom.
This was a small to moderate earthquake.
Epicenter in magnitude is in for a 10 spot.
Epicentered in Palmdale.
If a dam breaks and the mayor calls, I don't want you telling O'Rourke went fishing.
Okay, we don't pull her off the slopes for even a 4.9.
Gas explosion in the MacArthur Park area. Rescue crews.
Public Works lost 7 guys. What's going on? Freak accident on the storm drain. They hit a steam pipe and got scalded. Steam did that?
Steam doesn't chart tissue like this. Methane? Something else.
We got a problem. Number 4 trend westbound. Temperature on board reads 20 degrees above normal.
That lake was 62 degrees yesterday. Today it's up to 68.
It's a sunny day.
It takes a geological event to heat 1 million gallons of water for 12 hours.
What is a geological event?
Mike, come in. What's going on?
It's tremendous heat. This is no good. Get out of here. Get off the train. Get off the train.
Please do not leave your home.
Somebody tell me what the hell is going on.
There's got to be something feeding this. When it hits what? It's gonna punch through.
You mean it rough?
Yeah. It's just exploded.
It's going crazy. The fire's popping off all over the city.
The west side is 1 million people.
There are gonna be 1 million dead people if we don't evacuate. When Mount St. Helens blew, the force was greater than the Hiroshima bomb.
Listen up, let me tell you what's south of us. No more museums, no more department stores, just homes.
Moses couldn't reroute this. It's everywhere.
It's not enough time. I need a demolitions team. Everybody out! LAPD, National Guard. Put as many people in front of it as it takes. If we turn and run now, they're going to be defenseless. You don't like my plan? That's good. Give me another plan, but don't tell me we're backing out. We're going to take this thing to the ocean.
In a city where anything can happen. On April 25th, it will.
Please stay calm.
Which is great because I had not seen it yet.
Oh.
It's one of the few disaster movies, especially like big budget ones that I have not witnessed. So I was pretty stoked about it. Rotten Tomatoes score of 49% from critics and 32% from audience. Not shockingly. Budget, however, of 90 million, box office of 122.8 million. So I think that means it at least made its money, assuming that they didn't go crazy with the advertising. But directed by Mick Jackson, 36 credits, including The Bodyguard, LA Story, and Threads.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Written by Jerome Armstrong, who only ever wrote this, and Billy Ray, 27 credits, including Hunger Games, Shattered Glass, Flight Plan, Terminator Dark Fate, and Richard Jewell. I was like, this writer has range, I guess. Like, he's written all kinds of shit. All right. Starring Mr. Tommy Lee Jones, 91 credits, including The Fugitive, No Country for Old Men, Men in Black, and Batman Forever. Anne Heche, who's that blonde chick who you vaguely remember from something, 93 credits, 133 credits of or episodes of Another World. She was also in Wag the Dog, 6 Days and 7 Nights, and then some TV like Everwood, Men and Trees, Hung, and most recently 11 episodes of Chicago PD and 14 episodes of Legend of Korra as Suyin Beifong, which I thought was cool.
R.I.P. Anne Heche.
Wait, did she die?
She's the one that drove her Prius into somebody's house and it burned up with her in it.
Really?
So yeah, now you feel bad about making fun of her, don't you?
I mean, no, not really, because I genuinely was like, she looks like somebody that you vaguely remember but don't know where from. That's how I. Oh no. Oh, I'm very sorry. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, moving right along.
Quickly.
Don Cheadle, 106 credits, including Marvel movies as Rhodey / War Machine, 39 episodes of Picket Fences. Also, Boogie Nights, Hotel Rwanda, and previously discussed in Mission to Mars. Also, we have John Corbett. He's the dude from My Big Fat Greek Wedding and Northern Exposure. We have John Carroll Lynch, who is the lawyer in the most previous 2 episodes of Evil, as well as the dad in one of the Channel Zero joints. And Keith David from The Thing and like 20 things a year. I didn't realize how prolific Keith David is. He's in...
Yeah.
You cannot scroll through his IMDb without your finger having fatigue. It's like, I'm only in 2022. Please, like, stop acting. Clean it with this. The story follows. We begin with like some text on screen about how there's a city department called the OED, and they'd be able to take over the city in case of a natural disaster. I don't know why they have this text there. This never really occurs. Then there's a cultural montage of the 90s LA. Lots of kind of fun things in there where you might have forgotten about, like, I don't know. In case you don't remember the 90s, specifically Hollywood 90s, it's kind of hilarious. It's fun. But then it's shot and intermixed with shots of lava. So you're like, I wonder what will occur. People are protesting the metro rail extension under the city. So we see that there is something afoot in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Tommy Lee Jones is hanging out with his daughter cooking eggs, which he spills on the ground and the dog eats it. Cute. His daughter and him have a quippy back and forth, and then we start going around to different groups of people that we're going to be meeting around the city, including some guys who work at the metro. There's a doctor who's working on gunshot wounds. There's Don Cheadle doing his stuff with the city. He's a coworker of Tommy Lee Jones. And then there's a huge earthquake. When the earthquake occurs, yellow smoke, aka sulfur. No one can figure it out. This weird yellow stuff. It's called sulfur, people. Bursts out of one of the sewer drains. One of the workers is severely scarred, and everyone else who's down there dies. Oh man. Tommy Lee Jones is then sent out with another dude to assess the situation, and they figure out, man, down in the sewer it's really hot. The Metro dudes refuse to shut down the tunnel despite the danger, so trains are continuing to run because people got to get home from work. Tommy Lee Jones needs proof that there's something afoot, so he hires a scientist, Anne Heche, who shows up with another lady, and they go down to take a closer look. Well, they want to, but he won't let them because it's too dangerous. And I'm like, why did you hire them? So they sneak down at night. Another quake hits. One of the women falls down into a massive pit of steam to her death, and Heche escapes. But by the time she gets out, lava's already flowing across the city, and balls of molten are shooting across the sky. So her precious information about what's going on beneath the city is pointless. Injuries start stacking up. Neighborhoods are being engulfed. Tommy Lee Jones refuses to give up, and he's using temporary measures like blockades, which the lava eats. Heche tries to convince him to properly evacuate huge sections of the city, but he says he won't do it without proof. So she goes off to find proof and discovers that there is lava running underneath the entire city through the train tunnels like lava tubes. It's just going and going and going. It's going to hit one spot and explode. And it just happens to be the spot where they have sent all of the injured and children, which is a mall / the Hard Rock Cafe. So they've got to figure something out before it blows. And hey, his daughter is there too. So thoughts on this film? It wants so badly to be a Roland Emmerich film, and it is failing. There's a lot of the small groups that we're cutting between from here to there. There's dogs that, survive. There's a marriage in crisis, but like the music is really bad and like it just feels really laggy. Also, even though the volcano idea is really fun, and they have a couple of really really neat scene setups. They have this whole like firefighters and mass fighting like the lava trying to cool it down, and it just looks very neat. I like that. There is also just a lot of messiness to it. It feels like we have so little time with each group of people that we don't know who they are and we don't know why we're supposed to care about them, including like his daughter and like the doctor we keep cutting to, and like there's so few people we actually get in there with that when we cut to them I'm like, oh great, we've got to go to these people again for some reason. It's so bad that at one point we get to Keith David and I'm like, when did you join this movie? Like genuinely, I think there's a scene missing because I'm like, he's just there. And then we get to follow scenes with him from then on out, and he's like one of the cops. But I'm like, when did you just appeared one day? He just showed up in like the crowd and was like listening in on like a meeting, and then he's just part of the film. And I was like, all right, I guess Keith David is here. Cool. Anne Heche's character does nothing ever. I don't know why she's there. She's like, oh no, there's lava. Hey guys, we already know. Oh hey, could you like figure out how to like help this? Nope, she can't. She doesn't come up with any good ideas. She agrees that the ideas that are there are kind of good. And then he's like, go find my daughter and help her. And she's like, I promise I will. Guess what she doesn't do? She doesn't find the daughter. She doesn't help her. She sees them off in the distance at the end, and I was like, oh my God, like she's gonna go, there's a building that collapses, she's gonna go into the rubble and help save his daughter. Nope, does not help save his daughter. They dig themselves out and she just witnesses it. I don't know what the actual fuck. Also, I don't know if her character and Tommy Lee Jones are supposed to have a romance. I don't get that. They don't, it's weird. It's flirting, I guess, maybe. There's no volcano until the very last shot when they pull out and they're like, and there's the volcano after all. But then the rest of the time it's just lava. It's just lava. And fucking Randy Newman. I cannot stand that man.
Wow.
The end credits.
I love LA.
I love LA. I was like, it's Randy Newman. He's followed me here. Somebody get him before he finishes this fucking song. Didn't get to any of the trivia. The only interesting thing really was the tagline is "The coast is toast." Everything else is pretty silly. Yeah, the ash was made from ground newspaper. And the lava was made from metasuliose, the thickening agent that's used for fast food milkshakes. So,
Ew.
I would have thought this was a Roland Emmerich film. It
Yeah.
not huh?
oh God, no. Oh, no.
I
This
love
is
that you
not-
are our huge Roland Emmerich defender.
Oh no, I love Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
I know you
No,
do.
this is not of that category.
He
This is
has
like,
also made very, very bad movies as well.
yes, but he's made so many good ones. It's fine. We can just ignore and you know what? Moon is so fucking insane that it's fine. Like,
That's a good point.
it's it's bad. It's a horrible film, but also what the actual fuck? The moon is not really a moon. Cool, I'm in. So
Got Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson
and it
makes
has
everything
Patrick
better.
Wilson.
True,
And what's his name? Samuel whatever from Game of Thrones, which is unfortunate because he sucks. But whatever. Whatever. It's fine. It's fucking fine. It's the only really intolerable Roland Emmerich film, I think, is Independence Day 2. That is unwatchable.
Pretty bad. He did Godzilla though, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty That's pretty bad.
You know what?
Oh,
Having
no, it's
watched
bad.
It's
It's
not
bad.
as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's
It wasn't
bad.
great, but it was not. Look, it's fun. It's fucking stupid. If you like Godzilla, it's probably very insulting, but it's
Not
fine.
so much insulting. It's just like, really? The he's gonna have raptor kids because Jurassic Park was so popular.
She's gonna have
She,
raptor
yes.
kids. Jeez,
She has
Eric.
all the
You
it's
just
like the
misgendered
dome
Godzilla?
is filled with eggs, and
Probably.
that's kind of cute.
Eric, would
Yeah.
you like to save this rapidly deteriorating podcast?
Excuse me.
I would like to.
10 minutes.
Let's see if I do. So apparently I went highbrow, I guess, with the movie called Sightseers.
Show me your world, Chris.
Well, I thought we'd start with Christ's Tram Museum.
Great. Dear Mum, Yorkshire is lovely, not like you said at all. They can smile, and they do sell my pasta sauce. The caravan bed is quite short, but Chris is a sensitive lover. Hope you can be happy for me. Love, Tina. Yeah, good girl.
You are going to pick that up.
I didn't do that.
If you don't pick up this excrement immediately, then I'm going to have to inform the National Trust.
Report that to the National Trust, mate.
I don't want this to ruin our holiday.
Get in.
Never thought about murdering innocent people before.
He's not a person, Tina, he's a Daily Mail reader. Say one word and it's...
I get it, it's just thinking outside the box.
The police are pursuing a ginger-faced man and an angry woman.
Sit! You're a liability. You're just like your mother.
Has it gone wrong?
Yeah, a bit.
You didn't let him see you do number twos, did you, Tina?
We both said what a nice couple we thought you were. Oh, I love her.
I can fly!
Everyone else seems to find it so easy to express themselves. I mean, even you've got your knitting. Have you had a nice holiday?
Yeah, had a brilliant holiday.
Oh, Christ.
From 2012, the Rotten Tomatoes score of 86 from critics, 62 from crowd, and I am firmly on the crowd side on this one. No budget or any information there. It's available all over the place. Rentals, AMC, Amazon, or IFC Films, Prime. Directed by Ben Wheatley, who did Kill List, Failed in England, High Rise, which is probably my favorite of his, and Meg 2, The Trench.
Did he really?
That was my reading. I'm going, what? Really? Written by Alice Lowe, who wrote Prevenge, which I talked about on the show a while ago. Slidudu and Time Stalker. I don't know. And Steve Oram, who wrote and a bunch of shorts and some TV. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would have been zombies, which I kind of like, but it's just And Amy Jump, who co-wrote most everything with Ben and Free Fire, starring Alice Lowe. She's acted in Time Stalker, God's Petting You, Paul Dude's Deadly Lunch Break, Prevenge, Kill List, Drunk History UK, and Hot Fuzz. Also starring Steve Oram, who was in The Kindred, Paul Dude's Deadly Lunch Break, The End of the Fucking World, 11 episodes, In Fabric, and Kill List. 106 credits overall, so he's done some work. And Kenneth Hadley, who is in Red Dwarf and seemingly every British TV show you can think of. So the idea is there's a couple, and they're going to go caravanning, the British show, which RVing would be the U.S. version, probably. And mother of the daughter is a horrible person who doesn't want them to leave and keeps saying things are happening to her and all this kind of stuff. And the daughter feels horribly guilty, but they leave anyways. She blames her daughter for the death of their dog, which you find out later was definitely an accident. The lead lady has a degree in dog psychology hanging on her wall. Like, okay, sure, Alice, why not? The movie starts off pretty good. Everybody's really good performance. Obviously, this is a good director. He's done a lot of really solid films. There's a bit where he sees, you start to get an idea of what's going on in this movie when the lead guy, Kenneth, sees a man throwing away a wrapper on a tour bus, as they're basically just RVing and hitting all the weird tourist spots, like a pencil museum and weird stuff like that, and becomes so enraged in it that he cannot let it go and accidentally drives over the guy in the parking lot. Relatively violent little thing that's made very uncomfortable when the dead man's wife and son start crying and yelling about the guy's death. It's like, well, that went from kind of comical to pretty uncomfortable really quick. In the end, both of them seem okay with what happened and proceed to enjoy themselves on their little caravan tour. She sends postcards home to her mom telling her, you know what, I'm not coming home at all. The lead guy says he's writing a book, but is totally mentally blocked, can't handle it. And his new girlfriend, well, she's his muse. He's very happy to have her because she's a muse. And they run into another couple of caravanners. This guy has 3 books published and is working on his current book. So what do you think the wannabe writer does? Shoves him off a cliff.
Oh, see, does he accidentally run over him?
Nope, this time he just goes straight to following him out into the, whatever you call it, marshes, I guess, and just shoves him off a little cliff. And I'm still kind of with the movie at this point. It just kind of keeps going on this. The pacing is really strange. And I found myself about 2/3 of the way getting kind of bored. The actors are all good. The stuff is good. The reviews talk about people rolling like, I laugh out loud. I've never laughed so loud. And I love British humor. So it's not that. So I'm kind of like, now this is about as dry as British humor can get. And it's just, I don't know. It becomes a little bit much because the guy kind of becomes a complete asshole. And she's still trying to figure out how to work with him and things along that line, how to get along with him. I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna say what it is, but the ending is awesome. It's good enough that I'm like, okay, I'm back to being fine with this film. It is really wild, fun ending.
Does it include fire?
Yes, but I can't really say what the fire is because it's kind of a spoiler. But yes, there's a big old fire in it. I wrote, it's an odd pace of film, and sometimes you look at people in it and they do something to make them complete pricks, so it's kind of weird. Oh, and we have fire. So there we go.
Achieved.
This was executive produced by Edgar Wright. Kind of included it about the time he was doing this Cornetto trilogy. And a short film was produced and sent to several producers. Most people ignored it, but Edgar Wright found it and thought, well, this is fun. Let's do something with this. And got the film made. But it kept turning darker and darker. And I think at some point somebody should have said, pull it back up just a little bit. Because it almost became a drama. It got so dark. There's not a lot on it. It's fairly under the radar film, but I don't know. If you really like his stuff, if you really like Ben Wheatley's stuff, you're gonna like it. I am hit or miss with Ben. I like Kill List was also great by the end, but had a lot of nothing going on in it for quite a while. I think High Rise was probably his most entertaining from beginning to end. He's a hell of a director. It's definitely a well-directed film, well acted. Everything about it is well done. It just I just wanted a lighter approach maybe at some point, just because it's like, okay, he's a serial killer and she's trying to figure out how to deal with that. So it's good, but it was not one I'll ever watch again. And I'm good.
Oh,
so
no
what do we got
trivia.
left? Not really. Yeah, the Edgar Wright stuff's mainly the stuff I could find, and there's just not a lot written about it. I think just because I don't think it didn't really go anywhere. But the reviews from the festivals were wow, over the top, gushing about it. But like I said, the crowd is 62 or so, and I'd say I sit in that realm. There's a lot to like in it, but it just didn't fully click together.
I remember this coming out. It came out the same year that was my last year living in the UK, and it was like a huge hit at the London Horror Film Festival and got a lot of traction. But I think that was around the same time that like Black Sheep was like the epitome of like great British horror at that time. So it was kind of.
And I liked Black Sheep quite a bit. I saw that at SIF and really
You're
enjoyed
not
it.
alone.
So
Yeah, I didn't end up seeing it because it always looked really mean-spirited to me. Is that accurate? Oh,
yeah,
all right.
that's part of what hurt it. It was
Yeah.
if they'd been a really loving couple,
Yeah.
more and more consistently, and then just did really nasty stuff as like I think it would have helped it a lot. But she's a pretty decent person and he's a dick. So it's sort of the balance is weird. But
okay.
You know.
That's too bad. I
Turn
will
off
not
your
see
buzzer.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yep.
Does he kill more than the two you talked about?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we get the sense that he's old hat at this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's so casual about it. Even the first kill is totally comfortable for him. Okay. So it's not something he it was not an accident when he rolled over the guy.
Right. Huh. And what do you say you watch this on?
I think
I'm not
Amazon.
A cop.
No, I think Amazon, and it's got a whole bunch of AMC Plus or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Another successful episode, guys.
That's right. All this masterpieces.
This means that Vanessa has to come up with a subgenre for next week.
Yes. Well, I thought very long and hard about my subgenre. And I realized that the next podcast is going to come out. I think it's like the day after my birthday. So let's
Oh.
do birthday movies. Let's do
Birthday
movies
movies.
that have. It doesn't have to be about a birthday, but there should be a birthday that takes place in it. Birthday party doesn't have to be the main character. Just has to be
I like
some
this.
sort of birthday.
Yeah.
So.
I like this. You're going to be 39?
Oh.
Yay, number one?
Really?
Wow, okay.
31. Okay. That's cool.
I'm gonna. I'd like to think I will be 37 forever, but we are past that. We are
Okay.
well past that now. So
I don't know
No.
about you guys, but my problem is is the same age as when I met them. And then
Yeah.
I find out how old they are, and I'm kind of like, Jesus, how old am I? Holy shit.
That's right. Yep.
yeah. How long have we been doing this podcast? Jeez.
Jesus.
Yeah, what?
Long time.
I know that we had like a episode
Pre-pandemic.
300 coming up, right?
Yeah. We are the one that we just recorded. This one right here is 286.
Holy cow, you guys. Episode 300 is when we call it quits. We've done it enough.
Wait, hold on. I have no other hobbies.
Well, if you don't want us to call us quit, why don't you drop us a line on the Strange Eons radio hotline, which is 253-237-4266, or say something in the Strange Eons radio talk page. And if you feel like supporting the show financially, you can do that in any number of ways on our website. You can buy us a pizza. There are sustaining donations available through PayPal, through all sorts of stuff. It's called Value for Value, and it just lets you decide how much the show is worth to you. And people, this is premium content. It's all premium content. There is no other content that we charge for. You're getting premium content right now.
All right.
And clearly,
The best.
the majority of you think it is worth $0.
The best. The best. The best. The best.
Oh, boy. All right, gang. Well, that is it. Lovely to see you. This is the only reason I kind of like these is I get to look straight at both of your faces, and that's just not my angle when we're doing it live. But
it is nice.
Still prefer the live stuff.
Yeah.
So next week, let's do it live, and we will be back in 7 short days, and we're going to be talking birthdays.
Birthdays.
Cool.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
See ya.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
It's not enjoyable to do that. So I don't know. It sucks in those ways.